Hello, beautiful friends and book lovers. I hope that you're all doing well. If you're new here, hello, welcome. I'm Heather, and here at Heather's Book Review, I tend to talk about mysteries and thrillers, but I do chat about all of the books that I have been reading in my monthly wrap-ups. I'll link that playlist up here for you. But today I am filming a dedicated review for Darling Girls, which is written by Sally Hepworth. This publication, it says April 23rd, so it recently came out, and it was a book of the month choice, which is all of these books behind me with this little square. I've gotten all of these from Book of the Month, so I will link my referral link in the description box below for you, and if you sign up there, you get your first box discounted, which is awesome. But I actually was able to read this early, courtesy of St. Martin's Press. So thank you so much, St. Martin's Press, for letting me read Darling Girls early. I was so excited because I absolutely love Sally Hepworth's books, and her book, The Soulmate, which is this blue one right behind me, made my top 10 of 2023. I'll link that video up here for you as well. I loved that book. I thought it was so much fun. And then this book made my books that I was looking forward to this year in 2024 video. I'll link that somewhere in this video or even in the description box below. But yeah, I was super excited to see that I was able to read it early because it sounded so good. So I'm gonna go ahead and give a non-spoiler review and tell you what I rated the book. And then at the end of the video, or I guess the second portion of the video, I talk about the book with spoilers for those of us who have read. So don't worry, I will let you know when that part of the video is coming up. But right now, we're just going to start the non-spoiler review. All right, so don't mind me. I'm probably going to be looking down at my notes a lot. I'm going to give you my version of the book synopsis. So we follow Jessica, Nora, and Alicia. They are three sisters who grew up in the foster care system together. A home that they lived at with a woman named Miss Fairchild was recently excavated, and bones were found underneath the home. So the story is all three girls' current point of views and their past point of views from when they were at the foster care home together. And that's basically how the story takes off. You find out via their current point of views that there were bones found under the home, and they're like, who the heck could that be? What the heck happened? Blah, blah, blah. And then it goes a lot to their past point of views, and you're seeing what their past was like growing up with this woman. So if you watched that video, I was talking about the 8 thrillers I was looking forward to in 2024. I was saying that I was nervous because it was 3 sisters' point of view. And I just felt like I've read a lot of thrillers recently where it's like sibling point of views, specifically 3 sisters. So, and some of those thrillers fell flat for me. So I was kind of nervous that this was going to do the same, or that like it would have been a bit much to kind of keep all of the history and their things like separated and not get confused. But I did not feel that way at all. I felt like Sally Hepworth does a great job of making all 3 sisters so different, and they all have really different personalities that it was really easy to distinguish between the 3. So something about me is typically with thrillers, I hate reading past point of views because I'm just hooked on the current storyline, and I want to read, like I'm always invested in that. But these past point of views, I was almost more invested than the current point of views. So that was actually really exciting to me. I felt like they were super well done. Like I so badly wanted to know what the heck had happened when they were at that foster care home together, that I was almost like, when it was the current point of views, those were still good. And like you would find out super shocking twists with those. But it's like, for me personally, I'm like, this is amazing that I'm wanting to read the past point of views because that literally never happens to me. Okay, so always in my videos, I like to have a like, what could have been better kind of segment. I typically try to do that, but I don't know. I didn't really have much. Like I appreciated all of the twists, especially that final chapter. Oh my gosh, that final chapter, so good. And like, I truthfully can't think of anything major that I would have changed about the book. I think it had really fun twists, and I enjoyed it a lot. So there's really like I have nothing to gripe about. I think it's really good. On my rating scale, I'm going to go ahead and give it a go get this book now. A rating wise, I'm giving it a 4.5. I just had a lot of fun reading it. I think the final chapter is one of those that like really just gets in. You're like, oh my gosh, this is so good. It was really fun. Yeah, I mean, I sped through it. I loved it. I think it's a great thriller, super awesome for summer, not super long. And I'm just excited to say that I have another Sally Hepworth thriller that I loved. So yeah, now I am going to go ahead and get chatting with spoilers for those of us who have read. So if you haven't read this book yet, but you're going to, save this video so you can come back and listen to all of the spoiler chat, because I'm so excited to talk, especially about that final chapter. That last chapter with Miss Fairchild. It also, by the way, I just want to say, it took me a long time to realize that that was the person whose point of view it was with the psychiatrist. Like, for a while, I thought it was Alicia. I don't know why. I just thought it was Alicia. Something must have been said that like alluded to the fact that it might have been Alicia for me. I don't know. Or maybe it was because that point of view is backed up to like an Alicia's current point of view. So I thought like maybe that was present in her future or something. I don't really know what went on in my head there, but it did click to me eventually that like it had to be Miss Fairchild. And I was like, okay, like once I made that connection, I was way more invested in those point of views because she's crazy and I wanted to know like all about her. But that final chapter, when she's talking about having had killed her baby sister, and it wasn't a baby, it wasn't a daughter that she had. No, it was her baby sister whom she was jealous of because she's just crazy, and then eventually killed the baby sister because she was so jealous. I didn't see that coming. I really did think like, wow, she must have had a daughter, and then like maybe she's like so mean and like controlling now because of everything that had happened with like that, what was that guy's, I don't even know if I wrote it down here, her like stepdad or whatever. But then once we found out the truth, I was like, this makes sense of why she was so jealous when Alicia, Nora, and I'm blanking on the third's name, would like bond, remember? At those points of the book, I'm like, she would always get so jealous, or like when any of the other foster care like toddlers that she brought home would bond with one of the girls, she was always like so jealous. But like, you just take care of her then, like she clearly doesn't want me, kind of thing. And then you find out that the truth in that last chapter was like, wow, this like actually makes sense. It made sense that the Bones were actually a sister, because she's talking about like, God forbid, how her mom shared her love with like another child. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh my God, this is literally so crazy. I liked all of the sisters' point of views, especially Nora. I thought she was super funny, and I felt like her character added, you know, that nice little humor that I feel like is always really appreciated in thrillers, when we do have some like a character that's funny, just because it gives it that kind of lighthearted element that sometimes thriller books lack. And my final thought was like, I just felt really bad for the girls as I was reading their point of views, their past point of views. It's just like, I felt so sorry for them, and you know, everything that they were going through, and Nora being locked in the dark. And I don't know why I'm blanking on the other girl's name. Alicia, obviously really just like wanting to be accepted by Miss Fairchild and loved by her. And then what the heck was the third? Jessica, Nora, and Alicia. Oh my gosh, I think I'm messing up Jessica and Alicia. I think Alicia was the one that was always hungry, the poor thing. Like, she always wanted more food. And then Jessica was the one that really wanted like that love from Miss Fairchild. I think I'm right. This is what happens when I like don't film it right away, because then I get the characters mixed up when I'm reading like new books. But no, I think that's right. But regardless, whatever. Anyways, like, they all suffered in their own ways when they were there. And I was just like, oh my gosh, imagine living with this crazy woman. But that wraps up all of my thoughts on Darling Girls by Sally Hepworth. Let's chat in the comments. If your comment does contain a spoiler, please indicate so we don't ruin anything for anybody else. But as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, you guys.